Hi, Firestarter here, and welcome to my review of the DX Power Dizer and Machinima Sigler from Kamen Rider 444Z. And we have here the box. It says here at the bottom DX Power Dizer and Machinima Sigler. Yeah, it says here, and it is written in Japanese. We have the Power Dizer here, Machinima Sigler, Kamen Rider 4Z. And at the top, some of the details about Kamen Rider, or maybe not really Kamen Rider, but the the Power Dizer, and some tidbits about Machinima Sigler. Nice cool picture also here in vehicle mode, and here in tower mode, and at the back, yeah, it says here it converts into from Power Dizer from the vehicle mode and the tower mode for the Machinima Sigler. Yes, it also says here that it is made for FMCS. So, yeah, cool. Without further ado, let's open the box and let's take a look on Power Dizer and Machinima Sigler. And first, we are going to review the Machinima Sigler. The Machinima Sigler is Kamen Rider 4Z's premier bike, and it does look like a shuttle. So it's themed that way. As you can see here, we have wheels that turn. We have a kickstand, but the kickstand doesn't help a lot in making the bike stand. In most of the time, you'll be struggling in taking this on a stand. It doesn't help that if you have other like a Tamashi stage act to make it help stand up straight. But with the kickstand, it just isn't enough to make this stand out. Well, some of the details that you can see here are the handlebars. They are in really soft plastic here, and then we have here a slot because this is gonna be used when you place this on the Power Dizer. And some of the details here is expected as a DX feature bike. Some of the details here are not really have that fantastic mold. Like for example, here on the engine block, doesn't look nice. The bike doesn't even have a spring at the back for the hind wheels. The handlebars, as expected, is really in a soft plastic. If you take a look on top, there's not much detail that you can boast of when you take your first look on the Machinima Sigler. As a whole, I'm not really impressed on how this one was made. Even on the show, I wasn't been really that like raising my hands up the air for being happy that this looks like a bike. It's just a bike that has a tail fin at the back for the shuttle look and feel. So that's all about the Machinima Sigler. Let's go to the Power Dizer. And this is the Power Dizer. I really have to do that voice because this is one huge mecha that is helpful during the show, especially when Kamen Rider 4Z does his flying thing with a bike. And we have here some of the details that you can see with the Power Dizer. One thing to note is that it has a battery already included on this, so all you have to do is just take out the peg at the back and then turn on, and then after you turn on, it creates that sound, meaning you're ready to rumble with the Power Dizer. Some of the things that first impressions, it really looks nice with all the matching yellows and the lines. That it is something that you use for construction. Some of the articulation points for the Power Dizer would be the arms, and there is a joint on the hand, and it swivels from left to right, and the hand opens to show you the fingers. The fingers are made from the tires of Power Dizer. There's also a leg swivel here, and there is also somewhat a knee because it is generated because of the transformation, and that's all. And the joints are segmented through a gear, but it's not like a ratchety thing like the MP1 Optimus Prime. It does have a segment to hold the arms when you turn this one around. It is also caused for the transformation, but overall impression, as you can see here, he is really wobbly. Shake it like a salt shaker. I really wish it has a ab joint here or a waist joint for him to pose in different ways, so he can do that running tackle like Shun does on the show. But unfortunately, it doesn't have one. And if you bend the hips in a certain way, it just falls down to its, yeah. The reason why it has a battery inside, because it generates some sounds like for that you can do during the mecha mode, the tower mode, and the vehicle mode. First is the robot mode. Second is that, meaning he is transforming from vehicle mode to Power Dizer mode. And some of the transformations or sounds that are generated is by lifting the arms for the vehicle mode. And there's another sound that is generated on the Power Dizer, which I will be discussing later, because it has to be transformed into vehicle mode, and secondly, tower mode. Now let's do the transformation. Transforming into vehicle mode is not that difficult as any transformers that you have built as an MP1, or it's not as difficult as a Voyager class. It's just a matter of bending the knees, the arms, the legs, and it converts into a vehicle. It's not as impressive as other mechas that you have right now, but it is simple and you don't really need any instructions in converting from Power Dizer to vehicle mode. Okay, first impressions about the vehicle mode. It doesn't actually roll because the only thing that moves are the hind legs and this middle wheel. The front wheels, because it is made to be a hand, doesn't have that wheeling movement. So even though it turns, the wheel turns at the back and at the middle, it doesn't even function that well. You might be scratching the whole mecha while you move it front and back or from side to side, and it still feels clunky in vehicle mode. As you can see here, I can still wobble a lot on the vehicle mode, and it's really clunky and it doesn't function as a vehicle, so what the heck. Now let's move on to tower mode. Now what's lacking is the Machinima Sigler. All you got to do is just peg the thrusters at the back on this side, and the front wheels are secured because of the levers in front. That way, because it helps especially if you transform or move the front part into tower mode. So okay, we have the bike on top of the Power Dizer in tower mode. All you got to do is just lift this to make the Machinima Sigler fly, sort of. But doing that is not as elegant as it should. Like for example, yeah, let's do this. As you can see here, because of the wobbly legs, it has the tendency to make the whole bike fall off. Even though I said earlier it is somewhat secure because you're locking everything in place, especially the front wheel and the thrusters at the back. It does look okay, but moving that into this mode is somewhat, like I said, clunky. Now the last sound that you're all gonna hear is when the Machinima Sigler flies off or shoots out from the Power Dizer in tower mode. If you really are a collector of all the Forza figures, this will be okay. But for those who are just venturing into the Kamen Rider genre, this is not really impressive at all. And if you are used to Transformers and you are used to other mechas that forms into another thing, would really diss this pair. So if you want to know the possibilities for this figure, do check out the photos at the end of the video and do subscribe to my blogspot for the full written review. Don't forget to click subscribe on my YouTube for more toy reviews. This is Firestarter. Thank you very much for watching, and until my next review.